Hello and welcome to my channel, Tech Expert Tutorials. Today we will show you how to create an application using a large language model from HuggingFace. To do this, we'll be using deep learning containers on AWS SageMaker, and we'll create a Jupyter notebook that can interact and answer questions. Let's get started. First, we're going to need to open a console on AWS. You can find it at console.aws.amazon.com. Then we'll open up a SageMaker service. Once we have this open, we'll go ahead and look for notebooks. How to create a notebook is on the left. So you click on Notebook Instances and then Create Notebook Instance in the upper right. First, we'll give it a name. We'll keep the defaults here. We're going to create a new role for this. Here we just take the defaults. Now we've finished creating that role. So now we can create our notebook instance. This may take a few minutes to finish. You can hit the refresh button if you don't see it immediately. Now we're going to go ahead and get the HuggingFace model. I've already logged in here. On the right hand side you can see all the models that you have that are available for this. I'm creating a token. This token I'll be using later in my code to access the model. Click on Generate a Token. Here I have a token. I'm going to go ahead and copy it, save it to my clipboard. Now we'll open Jupyter Lab. This will create a new notebook for us to work with. It may take you a few seconds for this to complete. I'll be selecting Python 3. Give it a different name. So now our notebook's ready. First we want to do a pip install. We'll be adding an AWS SDK package. This one is for SageMaker. I'm also going to need the Bodo 3 package. I'll be including all this code in the description below. You can see I'm importing both of those packages in my code. Also creating a session from a Bodo 3 client that I created. I'm going to print a few variables in order to verify that this code is working. Then we'll go ahead and run this code. Pip install worked correctly. Now we'll run the next cell. This next cell includes the import statements for SageMaker and Bodo 3 SDK packages. I'm creating a default bucket first, then creating a client, and then creating a session from that client. That's all completed successfully. Next, we're going to import the image from HuggingFace. Here's where I set up some configuration for this model. I set the instance type, number of GPUs, and then the health check timeout. I'm selecting this instance type because it's not as expensive as some of the others. If you're on the free tier, you may want to select the ones that are available on the free tier. I also include the model ID. There are hundreds or even thousands to choose from. I'm also limiting the number of tokens just for testing. And finally, I'm getting the model based on the configuration settings. Go ahead and run this. See if there's any errors. This may take a few minutes to finish. Next, I'll be running the deploy statement. And from that, there's an error. So I need to do some debugging. I'll scroll down to the bottom and see the root cause for this error. The error is a resource limit exceeded. So I'll do some Google searching and find the fix for this. In this case, the fix is to request for having this quota modified. At this point, it was 0. I need to have a resource of 1. Include a link to this page also in the description below. Just need to follow the instructions on this page and then view your quota after you're finished. Service quotas in AWS Services, Amazon SageMaker. Select the ML M5 X large instance. Upper right, you can see request increase at account level. You can see it's set to 0 right now. I'm going to change that to 1. This is happening because I'm using the free tier. I don't have access to that engine in the free tier. Then I'll keep checking back, see when the quota is changed. Okay, now the quota error is fixed. Try running this again. And this time we get a different error. You scroll to the bottom. And I can't really tell what the issue is from this. So I need to go into the CloudWatch and see the logs for this error. Go to your console, go to CloudWatch. Click on logs, then log groups. You may see a few items. You just need to find the one that was the latest. You select the one that you think is the latest. Scroll down. And under log streams, you'll see an item that should have a detailed list of tracing from your application testing. I like to scroll from the bottom and move up. So it's an authentication error. I don't have access to this model. There is a way to go into HuggingFace and request access to each model, whichever model that you selected. See listed here, my request has been submitted and pending a review. So rather than waiting, I'm going to pick a different model, one that has no restrictions on it. I decided to go with the Llama 2 7B chat instead. I'll update my code to use that model instead of the one I was using originally, and then try running this again. Next, I'll be setting up my prompt. I'll be creating another video, show you how to create a good prompt, some tips and tricks. The prompt is going to interact with the model and answer the instruction/question that I gave it at the top of the cell. It's already come back with a response. It looks like it's truncated. So I'm going to change a few of the configuration settings. One to look at is the max new tokens is now set to 512. It should give me a longer response. So I go ahead and run this. And you can see the response is much longer now. Now we're going to go back and look at the notebook instance as it's running on AWS. You can see I have several endpoints. One of them is in service, the other ones have failed. The one in green is the one that ran successfully. You can look here and you can find more details about this endpoint, when it was created and when it was updated. Here you see some metrics. Check the CPU and memory usage. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching our video. See you next time.